and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is my place to talk about all things crochet, knitting, crafty, all of that good stuff. And this is episode number 71, which means I've talked about crochet and knitting and crafty stuff quite a lot over the last 4 years. My name is Ali. I live in the very southeast of England in the county called Kent with my husband, who is currently downstairs working and supervising homeschooling, and my two daughters who are doing the homeschooling part. We are in lockdown here in the UK, well, in England and Scotland at least. I'm not sure what Ireland or Wales are doing, but I'm pretty sure they're in lockdown as well. And yeah, it's a pretty miserable start to the year, to be honest. We knew we were going to be homeschooling for a couple of weeks, didn't expect to be homeschooling for an entire term. So we're all set up now, we're getting into the flow of it, and hopefully we will survive, but it's all a bit stressful. Dan has very graciously taken over with the homeschooling this morning so I could film this podcast. I did want to film it on Monday, but I just was not ready at all. My show notes weren't ready, I hadn't done the Strictly prizes and so on. So today is the day, and it's Thursday. And I've just realised I've left the bedroom door open. So I'm just going to close it in case we get any interfering noise. Okay, that is done. Where can you find me? I am on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali, although to be honest, I'm not really on Instagram these days. I don't think I've posted since October, but I do pick up messages and stuff. Ravelry, I'm Starry Eyes Ali as well. I've already said that, and I spend a lot of time over on my other channel, which is This Little Wonderful Life, doing vlogs. So if you like my vlog content, make sure you're subscribed over there, because I did Vlogmas over there. I've already done one or two vlogs in the new year as well. So make sure you do go over there if you like vloggy content and talking about crafty stuff and notebooks. It seems talking a lot about notebooks. Okay, stop talking, get started. Today we are going to talk about some finished objects, some works in progress, some incoming stuff. I've got 2 giveaways. Right at the beginning of the new year, first episode, 2 giveaways, amazing. So wait until, oh dear, I have just had to have some ibuprofen. I've got a feeling it might be affecting my head. I've got such a headache. I just woke up this morning with a headache. I think it's a stress headache. So if I seem a little bit like hyper, it could be the ibuprofen or it could just be stress. I've got some books and stuff to talk about, and finally at the end is where I just mop up all the other stuff that I need to natter about. So let's get started straight away. Finished objects. I do have a few. I've been quite busy, and there's a couple of things that I've got finished, and I've got one disaster as well. So let's start with the thing I am really chuffed with. It is a headband stroke ear warmer. Oh, I forgot to say as well, by the way, that all of the timestamps and information for everything that I talk about is in the description box underneath. It's all the links of anything I mention and the timing of everything. So if you need to jump back to a section to remember what I said or something, it's all underneath in the description box. So this is my ear warmer. It is the Catalina ear warmer by K.SZ Knits. It's a paid for pattern. It's about £2. And this is what it looks like. Now obviously you've got to bear in mind that I have lockdown fringe at the moment, so anything I put on my head is just going to mean that I can't see. I look like one of those cartoon Vikings with the hair in it. See, that's not much better, is it? But we'll go with that for now. So this is my ear warmer. It is cabled. I love it so much, and I purposely haven't been wearing it because I wanted to keep it nice to show you, but also I've got to put something on it. Let's take it off my head because this is not going to help my headache. I'm really pleased with how I managed to get it to fit though, because this could have gone too small or too big, but I think I've got it just right. Poofy hair now. So it's, yeah, like I say, it's a very inexpensive pattern, and I really like this cable pattern. It's kind of offset chevron pattern, and then you've got a kind of it's a garter stitch at the edge, and you knit it in a line. What's the best way to describe that? You just knit it as upwards like a one piece, and then you seam it at the ends. So I thought I'd be really clever, and actually it paid off a little bit. You're supposed to just sew it together, but I started with a provisional cast on. And it was a bit awkward because you have the cast on edge and then you start the cabling straight away. And what I should probably have done is done a couple of rows just plain knitting to make it easier to pick up the provisional cast on at the end. But I managed it, and I had to fudge a few little bits, and I'm pretty sure that I messed it up, but it's at the back and it's the seam, so no one's going to notice. So that's my seam there, where I grafted it together with Kitchener stitch. Not too bad, is it? You can see the odd little bumpy bit that's got a bit wrong here, but you know, not too bad. Don't think anyone's going to notice. And all I need to do now is add one of my, I've got some little felt tags that make it look, just finish it off from Knitting I Love, and I'm going to stick one of those on and then call it done, and then I can start wearing it on our winter lockdown walks. The yarn is, it was a gift from my friend Annette in Denmark. She sent some lovely Christmas gifts, and she sent 2 skeins of Knitcrate Vidalana. I can't find the ball band, but I'm pretty sure the colour is called Broken Stones. And I held it double. It's, I don't know what weight the yarn is. I think it's a DK weight, and I held it double because the pattern's for an Aran weight yarn. It's a chain plied yarn. I really like it. It was really nice to work with. And I used this type of needle. See if I can stick it in the top of the ball to hold it up. I use this type of needle to do my cabling. And usually I use the straight ones with a kink in the middle, but I much preferred this one. Much preferred it. I thought that was a lot easier. And then the whole headband that I've made weighs 63 grams. And I've got 143 grams left, so I've actually got enough to make another one or a hat. So I'm not sure what to do next, but I definitely want to make something else that's got cables, because I think this colour and this yarn worked really well with the cables. Yeah, so, oh, and I've still got the needles stuck in it because I need to put them away, and also because I wanted to let you know what size I used. Not that it makes much difference to you, because, you know, we all knit differently. I use 3.5mm, but I knit really loosely, and I quite often have to go down quite a few sizes to get gauge. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with that. First finished object to share. And now I can put my little tag on and it can go into use. Okay, what's my next finished object? Oh, this is another one I'm so pleased with. Because it's been quite a long time in the making, this project. Oops. They are my Spooky Park mitts. It's a pattern by Hannah of Hannah from Sheep's Alley, and it was a mystery knit along last Halloween, so Halloween 2019, not 2020. And I really enjoyed making it, but I got my gauge wrong and made a tiny miniature mitten. and just to give you an idea of how miniature it is, there it is on my hand. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I started again. Oh, I can't remember when I started it again. But I really enjoyed doing it. I think it might have been around sort of September, October time. And I loved it. And then for some reason I put off making the second one again. But I have now done both. So here are my finished Spooky Park mitts. With thumbs and everything. And I am no colour work expert. So I can't quite believe that I've made these. But I have. So the idea is that... let's get into focus first. So you've got a bit of cabling here, and then this is like a spooky face, and then you've got weeping willows, and then you've got cherry trees, and then you've got fir trees at the top. And you can do beading all along the edge of the weeping willows, and I actually did in the first mitt that had the wrong gauge. You can see the little blue ones there. And then I did blue, what do you call them? Cherries on the cherry trees. But this time around I didn't do the beads on the weeping willows, and I did red beads on the cherry trees. And here's the other one. So I've got a matching pair. And thumbs with colour work. You see the little spooky face on the thumbs. Can't believe it. Now the only thing I've done wrong, I think, when I was weaving in the ends of one of the thumbs, is I've caught a strand. Can you see there? on the outside that I didn't notice. So what I'm going to have to do is cut that strand, put it through to the other side, tie it and weave it in. I noticed it when I had it on the mitten blockers. I was like, ah, man. But I don't think it's a whole, it's not a whole bit of yarn. It's just a little tiny strand of it. So I don't think it's a disaster. So, right, have I got anything else to say about that? It was a free pattern, by the way. So if you want to make some for next Halloween, it is a free pattern. I loved making them. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm finding that even though I'm not very good at it and my tension is all over the place and you don't even want to look at my floats. You're supposed to show your floats, aren't you? So I'll show you my floats. Maybe you're a bit more of a seasoned colourwork knitter and you can tell me if my floats are okay. There you go, there's my floats. Yeah, I knit continental, so I hold both colours that I'm working with at any one time in my left hand. And the more I've made these and another project that I'm going to show you, the more I've got used to it, and I'm really starting to enjoy colour work. I find it a fascinating thing to do. No line is the same, and there's something kind of relaxing about that. I wouldn't have thought that, but honestly, I mean, there are nights where I think there's no way I can do colour work tonight, but honestly, I have loved making these and I'm going to love wearing them. And of course, because they are colour work, they've got that extra layer of yarn behind the stitches, so they're going to be extra warm. I just don't know what to do with my little miniature disaster one. I think I'm just going to have to frog it and put the yarn into my ugly blanket. I've got a crochet granny square blanket where just scraps of yarn go into without worrying about colour placement or how much or anything like that, so I might have to do that. Unless you've got any other ideas. I don't really want to finish it and turn it into a decoration because I wouldn't use it as a decoration. But yeah, I think I might just have to frog that. So that's my second finished object. Okay, my third finished object, can you believe it? 3 finished things, is my Strictly socks, which is even more astounding because I never finish my own Strictly socks in the year of Strictly. But I finished these before the end of 2020. I actually finished them. And here they are. Now I didn't do, this is the official Lola sock pattern. I didn't do the colour change on the toe. I wanted them all one colour because I love this yarn so much. And I did the pattern exactly because there were lots of elements that I hadn't tried. I've never tried a Go Day heel and I've never tried Jules's beanie toe before. So I wanted to do it exactly as the pattern to see, because you never know, it might turn up something that just fits you perfectly and you think, wow, I never tried it before. So the yarn, this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn, which honestly has been just beautiful to work with, is called Ray, and it is by Third Vault Yarns. And it's a very luxurious yarn because it's got cashmere in it as well. And you can just see there, it's got a very, very, very simple lace pattern that runs down the front. It looks tricky, it's not. It's really, really simple. It's a 4-row repeat, which means the pattern is created by doing the same 4 rows over and over and over again. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're back to 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what creates the pattern. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed working on it. I love the yarn, I loved the pattern. My only thing is that they don't fit me properly. So, and like I say, you never know when you're going to find a pattern that's going to fit you perfectly. The Go Day heel doesn't fit my feet properly. I've got quite flat feet. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. They fit Lilia great. She loves them, so she's going to have these. And she wears her hand knit socks around the house, so they'll be great for around the house. They'll keep her toasty warm and she's really pleased with them. But for me, they're too baggy, and I think you can even see on the blocker they're quite baggy across here, and that doesn't work for my feet, which is fine. I've tried a Go Day heel now. I really liked the Go Day heel and I really like the way it looks. It's a short row heel and it kind of builds the gusset in. I really, really like the way it looks. It's a lovely, lovely looking heel. Just doesn't fit me. And I like the toe. The beanie toe worked really, really well and it looks nice. I like a nice rounded toe like that. So overall, I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with these. I've got to take some pictures. I keep forgetting to take pictures. What else did I want to say about these? I think on one side of my Go Day heel I didn't do as well as the other, and it's quite gappy. You see the little holes there. Whereas on the other side I have no holes. And I don't know why that happens. It's not just on a Go Day heel that happens. It happens on any heel that I do. There's always one side that seems to be tighter and neater than the other. And I'm not sure why that is. But I'm very happy with my Strictly socks. My Strictly socks 2020. Yay! Okay, speaking of Strictly, I have drawn all of the prizes. I've already done it. I did it this morning. I started very early and I've done all of that because I wanted to know how long it was going to take me. And it took me about 20 minutes because I wanted to know whether I should put it at the end as a separate video or at the end of this. But I think what I'm going to do is put it at the end of this, right at the end, so that if you've taken part in the Strictly Sock Along, you know it's right there at the end waiting for you. But if you haven't, you don't have to sit through it or fast forward or jump to another section in order to avoid it. So all of the Strictly prizes have been drawn, and there's a lot. I drew 4 from the FO thread, 4 from the Chatter thread, 3 from Instagram, and 4 rule bending winners as well. So make sure if you took part in the Strictly Sock Along 2020, go and watch the announcement of the winners at the end. I've got my 10 paddle and everything, and thank you to everyone that joined in. Oh, and of course I should say, just in case you're not going to watch the end bit, that this pattern, the Lola sock, was designed by Jules of So Sweet Violet to be the official sock pattern of the Strictly Sock Along, but she donated a percentage of the sales of this pattern to Bill's Special Bus, which was a charity fundraiser run by Gaynor of Tales and Cuckoo Land. And between her and Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, who sold the official Lola sock yarn, they raised a ton of money to help get that bus for a very special school for some very special children who have got complex needs. So well done, ladies. That was a really, really lovely element for this year's Strictly Sock Along, to have that lovely heartwarming tale going on in the background, and well done for raising all that money. Okay, what are we moving on to now? Works in progress. Oh, actually, well, let's bridge the gap. So I had one that was a work in progress, but then I finished it and then realised I'd made a grave error. I was supposed to hold the yarn double and I didn't, and I wondered why it didn't fit properly or look quite right. But also I realised that the yarn I'd chosen I didn't like. The pattern's amazing though, and I made this so quickly in the end. I absolutely loved it. So this is the Molly Hugh hat. I'm going to put it on so you can all laugh at me. Okay, so this is the Molly Hugh hat, and I thought that this beautiful bright orange yellow yarn would look really good as a contrast with the white, but it's not high contrast enough. That's my first problem. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Can you see the beautiful colourwork pattern and my terrible colourwork tension? Hopefully you're getting a good view of that, because I can't see, I'm just waving my head at you. Yeah, this, I can't believe, I can't believe I've done this, first and foremost, not being an expert or in any way experienced colourwork knitter. It was so fun to do. I couldn't stop doing it, and it didn't take me long to make at all. And I got to the end, tried it on, and I thought, God, this looks more like a beanie. And then I reread the pattern and realised I was supposed to hold the yarn double. But at the same time, I also realised that this sort of light bright orange was not sort of a high enough contrast with the white. It looks nice, but yeah, and the other thing is I won't wear it. I prefer dark colours near my face and skin. This kind of sort of very bright colour makes me look rather washed out. Let's get my fringe out my face. You're going to hear some noises because the bin men know something's going past. It might be a street cleaner, one of them little buggy things that cleans the pavements. Yeah, so I'm going to have to frog it. I don't mind, because I really enjoyed doing it, and it was a really good kind of lesson in how to hold the yarn and so on. And my tension is all over the shop. But what I'm going to do is hold the bright pinky orangey yellow double, and then because it's because that'll make a DK weight yarn, because it's 2 fingering weight held together. And I think it's another Knitcrate one, that one. Yeah, Knitologie by Knitcrate, and the colour is Citrus Squeeze. I got plenty of it to be able to hold it double. It's absolutely fine. I'm not worried about running out of yarn there. but I need a darker colour to contrast it with. So I have picked this one. I need to do a wrap test, but I'm pretty sure this is a DK weight. It was a gift from a viewer quite some time ago, and I always had in mind that I would make a hat for Dan with it, but I ended up using some of it to make stalks for pumpkins when I made pumpkins back in October. So it's all balled up, and I thought, well, it's all balled up, I'll make Dan a hat. But now I'm thinking I'll make me a hat because I think this will be a much higher contrast, and I think that'll be much nicer. What do you reckon? I think that's going to be a much nicer combination. And because this is already DK, it means I only have to hold one strand of this and 2 strands of this, which just makes things a little less tangly as I'm doing it. Because I'll have to wind a bit off, so I have 2 balls to work from. So that's my plan. So it was a bit of a disaster, but a kind of educational disaster. And the hat, by the way, sorry, I should say more about the pattern. It's the Molly Hugh hat. It's by Shiny Superhero. My copy that I printed out is black and white. But if you have a look at the Ravelry page or on Shiny Superhero's Instagram page, you'll see it a lot better. She designs the most amazing things. She's based in Denmark. It is a paid for pattern. It's about £3.80 and I'm making size 2. So from the way this fits me, I think I'll be all right to make a size 2 going up a yarn size, but I might do another gauge swatch just in case, because I don't want to put in all the effort a second time and have to frog it again. So I'm definitely going to make sure I've got gauge before I begin. Yeah, so watch this space. This is a project that I need to kind of sort out a bit. I'm a bit annoyed that I have to do another gauge swatch. It's my least favourite part of knitting or crocheting, is making gauge swatches. And I used, to finish the hat as well, I've got this lovely gift from lovely Hillary. It was a complete surprise, and it is a Knit Pro. So I've got this little, it's a little case. It came from Amazon and I was like, I didn't order this, but it was a gift that was sent to me. Yeah, it is Knit Pro. And it's a Knit Pro DPN set. So I've got 2.2, no, 2 millimeters, 2.5, 3 millimeters, 3.5 and 4. So I was able to use the green ones, the 3.5s, to finish off my hat. It was really, really handy. So thank you so much for that, Hillary. I would never have thought of buying something like that for myself. And I've used it twice already. It's amazing. Okay, what's the next work in progress I'm going to talk about? I've got loads of works in progress and I don't talk about them every episode. If you may already know that, but if I were to talk about them every episode, I'd have a ton of stuff that I would just hold up and say, I haven't done anything to this. And for those of you that asked last time about the Harry Styles cardigan, which is kind of my work in progress, but not really. It's a collaboration with my mum. So my mum's done really well. She's only got a couple more bits to knit for the collar, because you even knit the collar separately and then sew that on as well. And once she's done all of the pieces, she's going to bring them to me and I am going to seam them all together and put the cardigan together. So obviously it's been Christmas and it's been a bit busy to and fro and stuff's been happening. So she's back on that now that we're in the quiet of January. I'll keep you posted, I promise. But my next work in progress that I do want to share with you is my Advent blanket. So I did my usual Advent swaps this year with my friend Lily, who is Lily of Norway, and my friend Sarah, who is Sarah One Daisy on Instagram. We did our usual Advent swap, swapping 5 gram minis. I had a couple of little gift minis coming over Christmas, so I've used that as well. And I did have another amazing gift. So if you watch my Vlogmas, you'll know that I had a BTS related yarn Advent from Gorgeous K. And I will talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it today, because I've got quite a lot of other incoming stuff to talk about, but I know what I want to use the yarns for, so when I come to make that project I'll talk about it properly then. But Kay, thank you so much. You made us all so happy, and you gave us that little point of time in each day to spend together laughing about BTS related stuff, so thank you. But this is the result of my Advent minis from this year. It's not finished because I'm going to do it next year as well. So last time I had an advent, for the last 3 years that I've done advent swaps, I put them into a giant triangle granny stripe shawl, and I finished that last year, and I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the process of making it so much. I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to do the same thing but make it into a square or a rectangle. And I started doing it, and I just wasn't getting that same thrill out of it, that same, I don't know, sense of Christmassy relaxation, just total happiness, crochet happiness. I wasn't getting it. So I ordered some grey yarn. It is Cascade Heritage, and you will notice that I have balled this up into a cake because I have a ball winder now. It was a gift during Vlogmas. Look at that, I'm a grown up, I'm making yarn cakes. So yeah, it was a very generous gift that was sent to me by a viewer of this channel. So thank you so much. I've used it loads, but probably not as much as Phoebe has used it, because apparently it's the most fun you can have with yarn is winding it into cakes. She loves it. So I bought 4 skeins of that, so I wasn't sure how much I'd need. And I have used 2.5 skeins so far, so I'm going to order some more to make sure they don't discontinue that colour or do something like that before I have a chance to finish this blanket next year or next Christmas. And I think by the end of next Christmas with my swaps this should be done. So I'm holding it double, and it's just a regular simple granny stripe blanket. And I absolutely love it. I have loved every minute of working on this. I love how it looks. And I did toy with the idea of being choosy about the yarn that I put in, but that doesn't work for me either. It doesn't give me that sense of, ooh, what's going to happen next? So everything went in, and I'm so pleased I decided. It was around this point, see this bright blue, when I put that in, and I thought, oh, I don't know, maybe I should not put those in. But I hated the idea of not including some of my advent yarns. And actually now when I look at that bit with the red sitting on the blue, I remember looking at those yarns on the day I opened them in our sort of tier 4 December and thinking, oh, should I put them in, and then making a decision. I remember that. It's a memory. It's a Christmas memory in my blanket. So I'm really glad I included it. And I've included every single yarn in the order that I've opened them ever since. So I think this will be finished next year, looking at the size of it now. And because it's effectively a DK weight blanket, it's really heavy. It's absolutely lovely to sit under it. This is going to be used so much. I'm so pleased with it. So all I need to do is order some more of the grey yarn to make sure that I don't run out. And it's all ready for next Christmas. So I shall do that after I finish filming today. And oh yes, I need to let you know that for this, I'm using a 3.5mm hook. And I chained, I think from memory, although I can't quite remember, but I think I chained 128 plus 1 to begin with. And then I did a row of single crochet stitches, and then I started the granny stripe pattern from At It 24. So I think that's the size that I'm doing. And if you want to see me working on it and talking about my advents and all of that, it's on my Vlogmas. And if you're wondering where my Vlogmas is, because it's not here on this channel, it's over on my other channel, which is This Little Wonderful Life. I've been doing loads of vlogs over there. I did the whole of Vlogmas. I've already done a couple this year as well. So if you like my vloggy content, have I said this already? If I have said this already, I might have said it when I was filming the Strictly Sock Along bit, because I'm doing everything in the wrong order today. Anyway, if I repeat myself, sorry about that. I'm like a salesperson. Don't forget, go and check out This Little Wonderful Life. But seriously though, do go and check it out. It's quite fun. Okay, what do I want to talk about next? Oh, my Among Us experiment. So I was hoping to have this done and dusted and given to the girls, but I just didn't have the time to work it all out. Look at this bag. This is from Michelle at Pictures in Threads. How cute is this bag? Oh, it's just so lovely. My skating sheep in knitwear. And in here I've got my Among Us experiment. So I found a couple of free patterns to make little Among Us characters. Among Us is a game, it's an online game. that the girls are really into. It's a bit like Cluedo, but really, really silly. So the pattern I found was this one, but I wasn't happy with this bit here between the legs. I didn't like how that worked. So I worked out a better way of doing that, and that was fine. And it's got its little knapsack on its back. And I didn't like how it had this line here, so I wanted to try and sort that out. So this is my first draft, if you like. I'm happy with the shape of it. And I've got rid of that weird bulge between the legs. And then I was trying to make the knapsack by doing it directly onto its back. And I think it's working, and I'm making notes as I go. So I'm going to see how that looks. But at the same time, I'm thinking it's probably better to make it separately and sew it on to give it that look of being a knapsack rather than part of the body, because it's a little bit too streamlined sitting there. You can see. I'm not sure because I basically picked up stitches around the back and then I've been working up. But I don't know, it's probably easier just to make a separate little thing. But I don't want the seam at the top. So I need to work that out. I'm rubbish at doing stuff like that. But I will get there eventually. So that's my kind of work in progress experiment, which I can't be bothered thinking about. Right, so the other things I wanted to show you are kind of WIP adjacent. So I haven't started them. I've mentioned them before and I would like to do them this year. So one of them I've spoken to you about fairly recently. I've moved it into my gorgeous Highland Coup bag by Julie of So Unique. Oh, look at that. And I've moved it into this bag because this bag was big enough to hold the book and everything I am working with, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I bought for me and the girls, all in different colours, from Julie, one of her Highland Coup badges. How cute is that? The bag was a gift and I love it. And I said that this was going to be my January bag, and it is. So the project I've got in here, which I haven't started yet, is something that I'm going to make for Lilia. It's from the book Mini Kingdom. There we go. Which I spoke about before. And the thing that Lilia wants is the jester. Can you see it? So I've ordered all the yarns and I've got them all in here. Got all my yarns. I like to make my amigurumi with cotton. And I've got a combination of, trying to get the book back in. I've got a combination of different brands. So I've got some little Shapya's Katona for the most colourful part. I've got some Katona for the hair and the skin tone. Oh no, I've got Shapya's Katona. I know I'm saying that wrong. Shapya's Katona for the hair, and then I've got two options for the skin tone. One's the Katona and one is dropped saffron, and I've just got to decide which one to go for. This one's a bit yellowy. I think I quite like this one. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that. I think it's going to be quite a detailed project. But I love amigurumi. If you haven't seen, I made a video about my amigurumi over the last 10 years. I'll put a link to it so that you can go and have a look at it. It was really fun to sort of revisit some of the stuff I've made. Yeah, and I know a lot of you really enjoyed it and have said that you're inspired to give it a go. Maybe we need some kind of amigurumi along this year. Or am I just giving myself more stuff to do? But that might be fun. What do you reckon? I'll have a think. I shall meditate on it, as Kreb would say in Clan of the Cave Bear. I'll need to meditate on that. I'm going to talk about that in books and stuff. Okay. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention that I want to work on this year, and I've had this ready to go for ages, is the Ziggy Interrupted, which is living in my lovely lobster bag. With, look, here we go. Can you see the tag? Carefully made by Mrs. Robinson. It's a lovely gift from Claire, this bag. I love it. And look at the fabric on the inside is like the potato houses in Denmark, in Copenhagen. I love that. And in here I've got a load of yarn that I agonised and agonised over, and Jodie who's crafty and yarny tales. Crafty cats and yarny tales? Why do I feel like I'm getting that the wrong way round? Anyway, lovely Jodie. She helped me by sending me some of her stash. So to help me get my yarns together for this. It's a paid for pattern by Sandra of Cherry Heart, lovely Sandra. And it's a wrap, and it's made up of zigzaggy sections and individual sewn together granny squares. That's the picture on the front page. And of course, speaking Sandra, the colours are absolutely perfect. I find it much harder to pick and put together colours. I agonise over it a lot. But I have picked my colours, and this is they. I don't know the order I'm putting them in yet, but this is the colours. I'm not going to tell you each. Oh no, I will. It's a knitting podcast. I will tell you them. So I really love all these colours, and I think they're very me, and I think they're all going to work really well together. So that's make an attempt to tell you now what they all are. So first of all, this one. Oh, I should also say that although they're all 4-ply, this one is actually a singles. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get away with that. And it won't look weird. I really love this colour. It is a Easy Knits yarn, and I can never work out what the base is called and what the colour is called, because I don't know how he does his labels. So that is either the fidget base in the tipping colourway or the fidget colour in the tipping base. So that's my first colour. And then this one was a lovely, lovely gift which I've saved for a long time from lovely Carrie, and I really, really love this colourway. It's the Woolen Homestead, and the colourway is Hogsmeade Holiday, which just makes you think of cosy butterbeer in cosy inns in the snow, doesn't it? So that's that one. And then these three. I've got Homespun House in Dobby Tries to Help. This was a gift quite some time ago now for my friend Lou. How pretty is that? And I have got, this was one of the ones from Jodie, Fine Fish Yarns in the colour Spellman, which makes me think of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Wasn't she Sabrina Spellman? Or am I misremembering that? Very pretty. And then finally I've got this very, very, very soft. It's called Angelus Grey. It is the Natural Dye Studio, and it is baby alpaca, cashmere and silk. Now I don't react well to alpaca at all, but this has no effect. It's gorgeous. So it's just a lovely kind of natural colour. And it's got a really, really lovely halo on it. So those are my colours for the Ziggy Interrupted. So I might have a little read through the pattern and start to prepare myself for what to expect with that. But I'm really pleased to have a big old crochet project to get my teeth into this year. I am going to do it. Hopefully by next podcast I might have something to show you, even if it's one tiny granny square. That is one of my plans for the year. Okay, moving on to incoming. Now obviously it's been Christmas, we've been doing swaps, I've had all kinds of stuff coming in. I'm not going to share everything. I shared a lot on Vlogmas, and I'll share more stuff as I use it coming in. So if you have sent me a gift and I'm not about to talk about it, it's not that I'm not going to talk about it, it's just I'm not going to talk about it today. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that sent me a little something. I've had the most amazing, I just got so many wonderful things to talk about, so I'm going to get stuck straight in. The first thing I wanted to mention was Loma and Echo, who are the Rogan Camp girls, very, very kindly sent me, completely completely unexpected, a fabric scrappy advent. They had been taking part in, I've written this down, they have been taking part in the LJC Advent Scrap Fabric Swap 2020, and I'm going to put the hashtag on the screen so you can go and have a look at it. It's run by Caroline, who I've had the very good fortune to meet in the past at a yarn festival. She is Let's Just Crochet, and she's going to run it again this year in 2021. So if it's something you're interested in after I tell you about it, make sure you go and have a look at that hashtag and follow Caroline, because she is going to do it again. So they sent me quite a few extra bits as well, some geocaching stuff and stuff for the girls and chocolates and stuff. But I'm just going to show you the yarn advent. So what they've done, why do I keep saying yarn? I'm obsessed. So they put, I got lots and lots of envelopes. Now, it arrived slightly late in December, so I'm still opening it now. But I've got lots of little envelopes, all numbered with the days. And inside each of these envelopes is some scrap fabric. And it could be a nicely cut, you know, fat quarter, or it could just literally be a piece of scrap fabric that I can use in a project myself. And then on some of the days they put in little bonuses, and they're usually tea or chocolate or like extra little bits, and it's been so fun to have those. And as I've opened them, I've been keeping them in my bag that was a gift from Cherie. Thank you so much for this, Cherie. It was such a surprise, of Ollie and Bella. Where's her thing? There you go, there's her thing. I'm sure you know Cherie of Ollie and Bella. And I've got a little zipper pull on here as well, and that was one of the extra gifts from Echo and Loma. I really love that. So as I've been opening my scrappy advent, I have been putting my scrap fabrics in here. So I'm just going to show you some of the things I've got. So here's a little pile of it. So for example, I've got this lovely floral, and I've got a lovely, Dan really likes this one, fiery manly girl. I've got Lilia was delighted with this one. It is Doctor Who themed. So cool. Yeah, so all kinds of scrap fabric. I won't show you everything because obviously that would take me all day, and this is already going to be a really long podcast, but there's some really fun, pretty fabrics, really fun fabrics. They sent me some fabric that relates to where they live in the US, and then they've done a couple of extra ones. I opened one of the Christmas Day ones, although I'm saving some of the other ones to open as I go. And it was this, which Phoebe's going to help me make. You cut out, I love this, you cut out is the shape you need to make your own apron. So you cut it out and you sew a seam around it, and then it's even got the ties, and then you cut out the ties and sew the ties on, and you have a Christmas apron. You love that? Nice and easy for someone, a simple sewer like myself. So I'm going to do that. So I've got an apron for next Christmas. So that was brilliant. That really made us smile. Thank you so much, Loma and Echo. And they also sent me a skein of yarn that I wanted to show you because they dyed it themselves, and it's really pretty. And I think they dyed it with Kool-Aid. Yeah, they dyed it with a combination of Kool-Aid and Wilton's, and it looks like it's a DK weight yarn. And of course yellow is my favourite colour. How pretty is that? So clever, and really, really lovely of you to send that as well. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was such a lovely gift, but also it was such a lovely idea to do that sort of scrap advent fabric swap. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look. I've got a few other bits. I also wanted to show you this. This was a gift from Caroline and Freya. They sent quite a few bits for the girls and some other bits for me and some chocolate. But I wanted to show, and some lobster coasters, which I can't show you because they're in use already downstairs. But she sent me a Sophie Olcott lobster tea towel. She's so gorgeous. I almost can't bring myself to use it, but I will because I love having lobsters. Got a lot of lobster stuff in the kitchen, and I just love lobsters. As you know, if you've watched before, I love lobsters. So thank you so much for that, Caroline and Freya. I really, really love that. It's funny how you can get so happy about a tea towel. And then, obviously, I did my swap with Lily that I've already mentioned. And on the final day, she put in 2 skeins of yarn. And I wanted to show you this because I couldn't believe it when she told me what they were. So these are the 2 skeins of yarn. I thought, oh, how lovely. Lovely skeins of hand-dyed yarn. How beautiful. They are not lovely skeins of hand-dyed yarn. These are skeins of magic knotted scraps. She has done 2 100-gram skeins of scrap yarns that she's magic knotted together. I cannot even begin to imagine how long that must have taken, but look how gorgeous they look. So I'm going to have to use these in one project. I don't think I'm going to put them into my blanket because I want to do something with them as a standalone thing. I just think That's amazing. So I wanted to share that with you because I just thought that was incredible. How long must that have taken and how good do they look? Thank you, Lily. And then a few bits that I got on Christmas Day from my mum. Actually, no, one of them was a Christmas Eve present, I think. Possibly from my sister. Can't remember. Can't remember who this was from. Jen, was it from you? I can't remember. They're in a little pouch here. You've probably seen these before. They are... Let's get them out. Come out! I haven't got them all out. Anyway, these are Guatemalan worry people. There is a story that when the Mayan people of Guatemala have worries, they tell them to their worry dolls and then put them under their pillow at night. By morning, the worry dolls have taken all the worries away. So you tell them your worries and then they take them away in the night. There's my little worry dolls. But I thought that was a really sweet idea. I have heard of these before, but you know, if the girls are worrying about anything, we can use that as a fun thing to do. And yeah, I just like the idea of that. I'm not sure where she got them from, but I just thought they were a really fun little thing. I'm sure that was my Christmas Eve gift. God, it was only a couple of weeks ago and I can't remember anything. And then my mum got me this. It's a yarn cutter pendant. You can use the edges. It looks like something like a ninja would have to throw at people. And you can snip the edges of yarn in these little gaps here. And then my mum's attached a Cath Kidston lanyard. Hang on. Hang on. I've got to work with the focusing issues here. There we go. It's a Cath Kidston lanyard, so I can hang my lethal weapon around my neck until I'm ready to use it. And I thought that was just fun. It's a clover yarn cutter pendant. No idea where she got it from, but I thought that was a really funny idea. And I think that's all I'm going to share for incoming for now. What have I written down? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I think that's all I want to share for now. So I feel like I'm racing through it a bit because I'm aware that I've got at least 20 minutes of the Strictly Sock Along at the end. So next I want to go to giveaways. I've got 2 giveaways that some lovely, lovely ladies have got in touch with me to offer. So the first one is I've got 4 patterns to give away from Valerie Miller. She is a French-Canadian designer. She is Knitbug on Instagram and KnitbugVal on Ravelry. She has over 30 knitting patterns. She is a knitting designer and it's sort of about 50-50, about 50% of them are free and about 50% of them are paid for. And she's offering up 4 of her paid for patterns of your choice. So it's 4 winners, each will get to choose one. But if you don't win, she's got about 15 free patterns that you can choose from anyway. So nobody goes away disappointed. And they are gorgeous and her photography is so beautiful, so stunning. And I really, really love the Speyside hat and the Cadborough berry. I'm really tempted by the berry, actually. But go and have a look at her patterns. And I'm going to open up a Ravelry thread so you can go and enter into it. And the prompt is, tell me something that you like about January. I love January. I think it's lovely to have this sort of first month of the year, a clean slate. It's a great month for making plans. It usually feels like a really cozy month. And I know it can be a bit bleak and grey and all the lights of Christmas have gone, but they don't have to. You can still light candles and put up twinkly lights if you want. And that's what I do. And I love it. So let me know what you like. Tell me a good thing about January. And that's going to be on a Ravelry thread because it's easiest for me. If you do have problems using Ravelry, as usual, send me an email with your answer. I will put an entry into the thread for you. I did that with the Strictly Sock Along. I did that with the last couple of giveaways. It's not a problem. Just make sure when you email me that you put it in the subject line. And please remember that I podcast about every 2 weeks. So if you're watching this anytime after that, you're probably too late. So just pay attention to the date that this was uploaded. So thank you so much, Val, for donating those 4 prizes. And yeah, the link is underneath in the description box as well. So click on the link to be taken to where you can enter the giveaway. I have another giveaway and it is a new pattern from Inaya's Toybox, and that is Elissa, and she has released a crochet amigurumi snowman pattern. It is adorable. It is so lovely. And she's offered a copy of that pattern up as a giveaway. So I think what I'll do for this one, should I say that I'll do it in the comments? Yeah, let's do this one in the comments, even though sometimes I find that a bit overwhelming. So I'll leave a link to the Ravelry giveaway thread for the patterns from Val. So you have to enter that way. But if you would like to enter the giveaway for the snowman, when you comment below, make sure you say snowman. Obviously, don't just go in and say snowman. Say something else. Make an effort. But make sure you say snowman somewhere in your comment. And then I can draw a winner using a random generator and tell it to look for the word snowman when it's searching for the winner. Does that sound good? Good, so that's what you need to do. So thank you so much, Elissa and Val, for those generous prizes, and good luck everyone. And I will announce the winners in the next podcast, which will be episode number 72 towards the end of January. Books and stuff. Okay, I've got so many books to talk about, and I talked a lot about different books over Vlogmas as well, but I'm only going to talk about a couple now. But I just wanted to say that I am still reading Clan of the Cave Bear, and I am loving it. So I'm so pleased. I decided to read it after I saw Kay on the Bakery Bears mention it, and then when I mentioned that I'd got a second-hand copy of eBay, so many people came in and said how much they loved the book and how it was part of a series, and I am really enjoying it. So you can see where my bookmark is there. I'm that way through. I'm over halfway through. I've managed to get a lot of reading done in the last few weeks, and I'm at that stage now where I get to a certain point in the evening and I start to look forward to come to bed so I can read my book. And if you're familiar with the story, she's just come back after a full cycle of the moon. I don't want to give anything away, but that's where I am in the story. And there's about to be a ceremony, but I don't know what it is. I had to put it down last night. I was like, what's the ceremony gonna be? So I'll find that out tonight. So I'm loving this. Oops. I am not listening at the moment. So the audiobook that I've had on the go is Black and British by David Olusoga, who's a British historian. It's a very, very long audiobook, and I have been thoroughly enjoying it, and it's been so educational, and it's such an important book, and I've loved it. But I listened to it on my way to and from work, and I'm not going to work. Well, I am, but I just walk to the computer at the kitchen table. So I really need to find a way to listen to it another time, but I don't really have any other time. I'm never alone or anything. So, and if I'm cooking, I tend to watch a podcast or something in the background. So it's really difficult. So I came up with a solution. In the meantime, I'm reading the copy I bought for Lilia, which is not the full book, but it's the book that's a shortened summary of the bigger book written for children, not children, older children, my age, my kids' age, not my age, my kids' age. So Phoebe's 10 and Lilia is 14, coming on 15. And this is that kind of age bracket. And I'm telling you about it because you might be interested yourself. It is a kind of shortened version. So I'm going to start reading this instead, so that I've still got my head in the story, so that when I come back to the audiobook, I'm not like, what? You know, and I can think, oh yeah, I remember that. So that's what I'm going to do. Lilia's got her head in, she's just finished Dash and Lily, the book, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, and she's now reading The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I think. So I can nick this without her noticing for a little while. What else do I want to say about books and stuff? Watching, stuff that we're watching. Now, there's been a lot of stuff on over Christmas that we've recorded and watched. Some of it's been better than others. But before Christmas, we were watching The Misadventures of Romesh Ranganathan. He's so good as a travel show person because he's so dry and he's so deadpan and so funny, but somehow he just gets to the centre of the places where he's visiting. And he has a guide in each episode, native to whatever country he's visiting. And he always seems to like become really close to those people. And yeah, he's such a good person to present those kind of programmes. And although it's really silly, there is an underlying sort of feeling that they really are pushing across the point that needs to be made about the country that he's visiting. It's really interesting. So if you can if you are able to download it wherever you are, I can't remember what channel it's on. I'll put it on the screen. it's really worth having a look because he is very funny, and we've learnt a lot about different countries from watching it, as silly as that sounds. So that's the Misadventures of Romesh, Ranganathan. And finally, we've reached the end. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. Well, it's not the end because I've still got the Strictly winners to come at the end, but it's the end of the podcast proper, as we call it. We're in lockdown. I've already said that. I've got a stress headache. Everybody's at home. My house is a mess. I have no time to do anything. I'm supposed to be doing the Tough Mudder in May, and I don't know how I'm going to fit in exercise and training for that because I can barely fit in dusting the living room. But it is what it is, and we have to do what we can do, and the poor kids are pretty much resigned to it, which is kind of hard to see because I think out of everybody, I know I've said it a million times before, but it's the children and the teenagers and those in education, basically, I think are just getting the hardest deal. They're the ones that are missing out on so much of those important times in their life and those rites of passage, and I just feel terrible for them. So we just keep trying to keep a routine, keep things happy, keep things light. And if you want to come along with us and see what we're doing every day here in the UK, I'm going to mention it again. Don't forget to go over to This Little Wonderful Life and keep up with the vlogs over there, because I talk a lot about what we do in our daily life, how we homeschool, what we do. I'm vlogging today as well, so there'll be a bit of behind the scenes stuff about what goes on here. The other thing I wanted to say was that I've got some more pins in stock. So before Christmas, I ran out of pins and I ordered some more, and then they arrived and they were all faulty, every single one. And I had to contact the company and say, what on earth is this about? So they're sending me a new batch, but it's going to take a little while, and with the postage and everything, goodness knows. So in the meantime, I found a new supplier because I'm fed up of having this issue. And they are the same. I've used the same Pantone colours, but the white is different. And at first I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I like it, but it is a truer white than the white of my original one. So I'm going to show you, and I'm going to try and photograph it because I'm going to sell these, but I'm worried because this is like the new and improved version, and I'm worried about how to convey that. So if someone's got one before and then they order another one, it is going to be slightly different, and I'm not sure how to say that or whether I even have to say that. But here is, I'm going to need to put this on something. Hang on a minute. I'll find a bag. Oh no, I'll put it on my tea towel, look. I put it on my lobster tea towel. Okay. So here it is. So this is the new and improved version. The lettering is actually a lot better. There's less extra enamel, which I used to get quite a lot on the previous design. What do you think? What do you reckon? Everything else about it is exactly the same. It's just a little bit more finessed and a little bit better. But I'm just a bit worried in case people won't like them. I don't know. I know I overthink things. So this is the new pin. And if people like them and they do well, I'll order more from the new supplier because it was a better experience. And at the same time, I've got a couple of other pin designs in mind, which I'm just very slow to move with these things. But I also got, it's the same design, but this has got an epoxy coating on it. Let's see if I can show you. So if you can see, it's shiny. Can you see? It's all completely encased, whereas my original design, you can run your finger along the letters and feel them. You know, that the black is raised. And this is exactly the same. The black is raised, but then it's covered with an epoxy coating, which protects the enamel, which I really, really like. So that's going to be easy to sell as an optional thing because obviously it's the same design, but a slightly different finish. Yeah. So that's the thing, and I've got another design in the works. So and that's one that Phoebe's helped me design actually, and it's really good. I really love it. But I'll keep you posted on that. It will take a while for the design to be finalised and then for it to be manufactured. So I think that's it. I feel like for the first, as usual, I get to the end of the podcast and I think, what a load of drivel that was. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad, and I hope that you enjoyed this little introduction to the new year and things that I've been working on and things that I would like to work on and all the usual drivel. And don't forget to enter the giveaways. Don't forget to come and visit me on this little wonderful life. And yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. How's your January going? How is the lockdown or tier system where you are? How are you coping? Are you homeschooling? Yada, yada, yada. Let me know how you are. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a podcast, and if you want to catch up with me, I'm not going to mention it again. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another podcast. Oh, and I should also mention that the design that I'm working on for the crochet mittens, very simple beginner pattern, I'm going to do as a tutorial series. That has been put back a bit because of homeschooling, but I'm hoping to find a bit of time to work on that. I would really like to do that in the first quarter of this year. So don't let me forget. Keep reminding me. Keep giving me a nudge. And I'll see you very soon. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I'll see you towards the end of January. Right, time to announce the winners of the Strictly Sock Along 2020. Where's my paddle? Woohoo! I'm going to draw winners from the chatter thread, the FO thread, the Instagram hashtag, and I've picked out some rule bending winners as well. I've got so many lovely, lovely prizes to give away, and that is absolutely 100% down to the generosity of makers and just lovely supporters of this podcast and just generally wonderful humans. So thank you to each and every one of you that has donated a prize. It really does make the Strictly Sock Along so special and so much fun, and thank you. And thank you to everybody who has joined in. Have you got your Strictly socks? Put them on, settle in, get yourself a cup of tea, and let's go through and find out who's won. I've got very colourful notes because it was quite difficult to keep track of everything, and I really hope I'm not going to mess up or forget anything or anything like that, but let's see how it goes. So it has been another fabulous year for the Strictly Sock Along, and I think it proves that even a pandemic can't stop the silliness of and glitter of the sock along and the cheating and all of it. It was always going to be a bit of a different year. Just going to have a sip of tea. Yeah, it was always going to be a bit tricky, but I think they did absolutely brilliantly. And for those of you in the UK that do actually watch Strictly Sock Along, because obviously watching Strictly Sock Along, Strictly Come Dancing, obviously watching Strictly Come Dancing isn't always something you actually have to do as part of the Strictly Sock Along. As long as you can prove your reasons for not, that's fine, you can still enter. Yeah, and I think they did really, really well this year. If you watch, you'll know that there quite a lot of people had to make quite a lot of sacrifices to get it on the telly, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome. And I think I'm pretty safe to talk about who won it now, because it's been a few weeks. And I think if the final had some absolutely amazing dancers, and I think in any other year we would have seen Harvey winning. Couldn't remember his name then, I was going to call him Joe Zug. I'm getting my social media stars mixed up. Yeah, I think in any other year Harvey would have won, and he would have been a very, very worthy winner. He was an absolutely fantastic dancer, and in fact any of the people in the final I would have been happy with. But if ever there was a year for a balding 50-something comedian who's a little bit deadpan and miserable to win Strictly Come Dancing, this was the year. I was so pleased. I love OT, and I love who was his professional dance partner, just in case you don't watch. And I love Bill Bailey. And if you don't know who Bill Bailey is, just Google him or look him up on YouTube. There's lots of videos of what he does. He's a comedian, but he uses music. He is a musician, and he's so clever and very funny. And I think on the final show, he made such a lovely little speech about what his dancing had meant, and I think that really touched everybody's hearts. And if I can find a clip of that, I'll put a link to that underneath as well. Anyway, enough rambling, let's keep going. What else do I want to say? Yes, thank you to everybody who took part, everybody who cheated and who made all of your fabulous Strictly socks, which I hope you're now wearing. Everybody who bought badges as well. That was the first year I'd done Strictly Sock Along related badges. So thank you so much to everyone who was so enthusiastic about them. I'll definitely put them on sale again next year. I just put my tea down because it's distracting me. I should also make a special mention for Jules, who is So Sweet Violet, and Kelly, who is Lay Family Yarns, who put their heads together and came up with an amazing idea to raise money for Bill's Special Bus, which was a charity fundraiser last year run by Gaynor of Towson Cuckoo Land. And between them, they donated money. They raised a huge amount of money donating from the sale of Kelly's yarn and Jules's pattern, which were kind of the official Strictly Sock Along. So well done, ladies. That was absolutely brilliant. And in the end, at the end of the year, they got the bus. So if you haven't seen that, do head over to Gaynor's channel. I'll try and remember to link the video underneath. So that was a really lovely element of this year's Sock Along as well. Well done, everybody. Right, shut up, you're thinking. Shut up, tell us who's won what. So I'm just adjusting. I've got crochet slippers on. Got really bad circulation in my feet at the moment. My feet get really cold, but I think my slippers are a bit too big and they keep falling off my feet. Yes, shut up, tell us who's won. Okay, first of all, I just want to say all the prizes that have been won have all been sent out and quite some time ago now. So if you haven't received them, I'm not sure what to do. They're definitely on their way to you. And I know the post has been really bad at the moment, so it might just be a case of waiting. But if there are any problems, please do let me know. But all of the prizes have been sent. There are 2 prizes that have not been claimed. So if you are either Panushka, and I'm going to put your names on the screen, or Granny Fly 81, please go back and watch episode 68. You need to watch that episode, and if you haven't got in touch with me by the time I film the next episode, then I will draw some other winners from the finished objects thread. So please go back and watch that if you are either of those people. Okay, let's start announcing winners. First category, I am going to draw 4 winners from the FO thread. As of this morning, there were 385 finished Strictly socks in the FO thread. Amazing. So I used our artificial intelligence friend to help me draw the winners randomly. And the first one that came up was number 211, and that was Raylene Jones. And Raylene, so I'm going to have to keep turning bits of paper around because I've got it written, it's very organised, but it's a bit of a nightmare. Raylene, you have won a skein of yarn from Jen at Castleview Yarns, along with a handmade bag from a lovely lady who watches this podcast called Susan. But there is a bit of a choice to make. So Jen at Castleview Yarns sent me 2 skeins of her yarn, one for me. But I can't decide which one I like best. I think they're both amazing. So you get to choose. So Raylene, here's your choice. You can have Best Day Ever. There it is. Best Day Ever. Or you can have California Dreaming. Isn't that beautiful? These, oh, lovely Jen, well done you. So let me know which one you want. Get in touch with me either on email, it's underneath in the description box below, or on Ravelry. You can get in touch with me on Instagram, but to be honest, I find Instagram messages a right pain because they do weird stuff. So Ravelry or email is best. And this is the bag that I have put together, put with the yarn for you. It's a sock size bag, and I thought that would go really nicely with either one of those yarns. So that is your prize package. Get in touch with me. Let me know which of those yarns you would like. Well done. Okay, the next winner from the FO thread was number 272, staying in the 200s, and that is Burrow Knitter. Your name is Julie, and you have won the Peacock mini set from Jilly at Mrs S Creations. Now, I'll have to put a picture up of this because it's all wrapped up in tissue paper, but you've also got one of the bags from Susan. Susan lives in New Zealand. She sent me loads of gorgeous handmade bags, and I've kept a few for myself, and the rest I'm using as prizes. So your mini set is in here, all wrapped up beautifully by Jilly, and this is the bag that you've got to go with it. It's beautiful with butterflies. I could only think of the French word for a moment there. Don't know why. I have been learning French on Duolingo, but we haven't got to animals yet, or indeed insects. So congratulations, Julie. Get in touch with me on Ravelry or on email and we'll arrange to have that sent out to you. Right, the next winner from the FO thread was number 381, and that is Elaine Pole Evans. Elaine, and you have won a skein of Vesper yarns and another bag, also donated by Susan. And the Vesper yarns was donated by a lovely viewer of this podcast called Kate. She's a teacher, so well done, Kate. We know how difficult everything is for teachers at the moment. Keep going, you're doing an amazing job. And this is the yarn by Vesper Yarns, and what's the colour? Oh, it's an exclusive self-striping colourway called Shimmering Pondvian. So this is a self-striping one. Oh, I love those colours. And this is the bag that from Susan that I'm putting with it. Very, very pretty. So that is your prize, Elaine. Get in touch with me on email or on Ravelry and we'll arrange to have that sent out to you. Okay, the final FO thread winner in the fabulous category is number 38. She went for an early one. The Paisley Humbird, and your name is Amanda, and you have won. What have I written down? Oh, so this is an unusual one. I'm going to have to unwrap it, even though I've wrapped it up really nicely to show you what you've won. Last year I had an unclaimed prize and I kept mentioning it for ages on my podcast, but no one ever came forward to get it. So let me just open it up. I'll rewrap it for you, but I want to be able to show it to you. So you have won this beautiful skein of Librarian Sock Blue Face Leicester nylon yarn in the colour Oh No Not Again from Third Vault Yarns, who is one of my favourite UK dyers. Look how pretty that is. I bought this at the Southern Wool Show when we used to be allowed out. And this is a beautiful DPN holder from a gorgeous viewer and very clever sewer who watches this podcast, called Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. So that is your prize package. So Amanda, if you want to get in touch with me as well via email or on Ravelry, and we'll arrange to have your prize sent to you as well. And I will wrap it back up all nicely for you. Okay, moving on to the chatter thread, still in the fabulous category. The fabulous category, by the way, is the sort of overall end random number picked winners at the end. Okay, the chatter thread, we've got 4 winners, and the first one was number 411, and that is Marie. You are Reen Dale 97. Hello, Marie. I was really pleased to see your name come up, and you have won the project bag and the matching pouch from Cheryl at Cherry Pie Crafts, and I have it here. I've got one of her bags and pouches, and they are beautiful. It's in a cellophane bag. I don't want to take it out, but there you go. It's got this beautiful peacock print, and then there's a little boxed pouch, and they've got the most amazing rainbow zips on them as well. So that is your prize. Well done, Marie. Get in touch with me on Ravelry or on email. I'm going to stop saying that now. Just assume if you've won a prize you need to message me on Ravelry or on email. Okay, the next prize from the chatter thread was number 541. It was Stitchy Judith. Now, Stitchy Judith also won a pattern on Strictly Saturdays, but you can win a prize as well. Just goes to show it's all completely random. So well done, Stitchy Judith, or Judith. You have won the project bag with the crochet kit from Julie at So Unique. She's also on Instagram. She runs a sort of sewing and craft shop, and she sent one of her amazing bags, and it is ginormous. Look at that. And it's got this lovely woodland animal print on it. It's really, really beautiful, and it is made beautifully. I love this bag. And she also sent a kit. It's got 3 skeins of yarn in it. It's King Cole yarn. It's double knit, and it's to make this set. It's a shawl and ear warmer as well. And she's put that in as part of your prize. So well done, Judith. Get in touch with me, and I'll get that sent out to you. Okay, the third winner from the chatter thread was number 372, and Kathleen, Mimi Cat Do 65, it was you. I was really happy to see your name come up. I'm always happy to see names come up, but it's really fun when I recognise people. And you have won a project bag from Leanne at Stitch Union. Now Leanne is going to send that directly to you. Leanne's based in New Zealand, and I think you're somewhere in the US. So I will arrange with Leanne for her to send that to you, but could you send me your address please, so that I know where to tell her to send it to. Thank you very much. And the final chatter thread winner was number 465, and that is Tanya, What I Created Next. It's another familiar name to me. And you have won, Tanya. What have you won? What have you won? You've won a project bag and matching notions pouch from lovely Dawn of Dawn's Days. She's also on YouTube as Dawn's Days. She lives in the Netherlands and she's going to send that directly to you as well. So again, if you get in touch with me with your contact details, your address, I will arrange with Dawn to have that sent directly to you. So well done. Right, moving on to the Instagram hashtag. I've drawn 3 winners from the Instagram hashtag, and this was done completely at random. It's a bit harder to pick numbers. So what we did was I went onto it on the computer, made the screen small and just closed my eyes with the mouse and randomly picked ones like that, and then I would click and say to Dan or Phoebe, have I clicked one? And they go, yes, you've clicked one, and that's how we chose the winners. So the first one, using that very technical, highly honed method, was Delighted Gem. And Gem, you have won, I'm assuming your name is Gem, you've won a skein of yarn from Kelly at Lay Family Yarns. Kelly very generously has donated 4 skeins of yarn in total, and you can choose any one. So you've won 1 skein of yarn and it can be any one. So go and have a look at Kelly's shop, see what she's got in stock, and let me know which one you'd like, and I'll act as a go-between, or I'll contact Kelly and see what the best thing to do is, but get in touch with me to let me know you've seen this anyway. So congratulations. And then the next Instagram hashtag winner was Phaser Trum. It's a good job I'm putting this on the screen because I can't pronounce that. And you have won a skein of the limited edition Lola sock sets from Kelly at Lay Family Yarn. You can't get it. Can't get it at the moment, so you're very lucky to get it, and she will send that directly to you as well. But if you can get in touch with me to give me your address, that would be great, thank you. And the final winner from Instagram was Tanis Makes Stuff, and you have won 2 skeins of yarn from Veronica at Silly Little Sheep. And she is going to send that directly to you. So if you could get in touch with me with your address details, I will then get in touch with Veronica to let her know where to send your yarn. So well done. Okay, so that is all of the fabulous category winners. Well done, everybody. It's so fun to be able to draw so many winners. So thank you to everyone who generously donated prizes. And we're on to rule bending now. Now, rule bending category, I choose myself. It's not random. I look through everything. I read through the FO thread, I read through the Instagram hashtag, and I choose the people that have either impressed me with their underhand cheating and downright deviousness, or have just made me laugh, basically. And I've chosen 4 winners this year. So I will, where have I written down the rule bending winners? Oh yes, I've saved them on my phone because I've got pictures. Oh, I'll have to pause and go and get my phone. 1 second. Right, I have my phone. So what I did was I screenshotted all of the cheating winners, the rule bending winners, so I could tell you why I chose them. So the first rule bending winner of 2020 is Stasia Crochet on Instagram. Now, I partly chose her because the socks she made, and they're crochet socks, are the most amazing crochet socks I've ever seen. And there they are. Aren't they incredible? They're called the Crochet Ribbon Socks by, oh, I'll put it on the screen and I'll link to them underneath. They're amazing. Anyway, she won because she made amazing crochet socks, but also because she made them whilst listening to the Strictly Ballroom, the musical soundtrack, instead of watching Strictly. And I thought that was a very creative cheat. But mainly she won a prize because those socks are amazing. I've never seen anything like them. So well done, Stasia Crochet. I think you are called Stasia. If you can get in touch with me, as I've said before, and we'll arrange for your prize. Oh, I better tell you what you've won. I've lost the flow now. What have you won? Okay, you have won a skein of yarn from Kelly at Lay Family Yarns. So go and have a look, see what she's got in stock. Let me know which skein you would like and she will send that directly to you. And we'll need your address. And the second rule bending winner was from Ravelry. It was Riser Dawn 75, and I really liked her cheat. She made the Lola socks in the official Lola colourway, and she said, since I don't watch Strictly or Dancing with the Stars, every day that I worked on these, I danced a 4-step Scottish Highland fling. I really, really, really want that to be true. So you've also won a prize, and you have won you've won a project bag from gorgeous Emma at Eldenwood Craft, and she will send that directly to you. So again, as I've said, get in touch. I've said I'm not going to say that, but get in touch with me with your address and we'll arrange for that to be sent to you. And the third rule bending winner was also from Ravelry. The username is Certain Style. You have also won a skein of yarn from Kelly at Lay Family Yarn, so let me know which you would like and we'll work out how to get that sent to you. And I really liked her cheating, so I'll read out her post. Totally brazen cheat entry as per the below. I propose that my striped mohair bed socks, here they are, striped mohair bed socks, count towards the sock along, despite the fact that I cast on 5th of August and finished on the 7th of September, because 1, they are a present for my nan, who religiously watches Strictly and all associated shows every year. 2, she will probably wear them to keep her feet toasty whilst watching this year's Christmas special. And 3, I knit them carrying 2 yarns together and 2 at a time, and are a pair. And as we all know, it takes 2 to tango and dancers need partners. I thought that was real dedication to the cheating, and you deserve to win a prize. So Certain Style, you know what to do. And the final winner of the Strictly Sock Along 2020 and the final rule bending winner is also from Ravelry. It is Betty's mum, and she made these lovely stripy socks. There we are. And she knit them not whilst watching Strictly, but she listened to Kevin Clifton's podcast. Now, Kevin Clifton was one of the professional dancers on Strictly, but mainly she occasionally thought of Aliash. And I just like that. I mean, I'm sure we all occasionally think of Aliash. So, well done to all of the winners. Thank you to everybody who's joined in, and as ever, I still cannot believe that everybody wants to join in with my ridiculous idea. And it's a lovely time of year to be able to have a bit of fun, and I think especially at the end of 2020 it was just nice to kick back and just be stupid. So thank you. So same time next year. Okay, thank you for watching this little extra video, and I will see you on the next podcast. And don't forget, I'm always over on This Little Wonderful Life at the moment, doing lots of regular vlogs. So if you enjoy my vloggy content, and it does include everything about what we do, so it includes all of my creative life as well, just me but on a different channel. So if you enjoy that, please make sure you head over to This Little Wonderful Life and subscribe and join us there. So I will see you very, very soon, and thank you again for joining in the Strictly Sock Along. Bye!